Welcome back to the channel. I want to show you guys how to mask a mask. See what I'm talking about. We have a mask here and I stylized it with a little bit of frosted glass and desaturation. I'll show you how we tracked it and worked on each side. And then I have another version with some extra effects on it. I'll show you in just a moment. So let's see how we did this. I'll go ahead and start from scratch here. And we're going to start off with a single node here, and I want a parallel mixer. So I'm going to hit Option P, or you can right click and hit Add Node Parallel. Now what this does is whatever you do between these two nodes get combined on the video layer into this parallel mixer. So it's a good way to work with more than one window on a separate node so one doesn't feed into the other and ruin your masking. So I'm going to label these. I'm going to hit tab because I have mine as a shortcut. I'll call that left and I'll call this one right. You can label your nodes by right clicking and just choose node label right here. So with the left eye, I'm going to do his left, our right. So this eye here, we're going to start here. I'm at the very first frame of our shot. I'm going to zoom in. And then I'm going to choose window and I want to use the curve tool. Now here's a way I like to do it when I'm doing curves. Not always, but I like to add a point at the top, a point about the middle, one at the bottom, another one on the opposing side, and then close it up. Now it's a diamond. You might ask why. I'll show you why.
Because that's a fugazi. All right?
That's a fugazi? How do you know it's a fugazi? You looked at it for 2 seconds.
It's a fake.
Yeah, I know what a fugazi is.
On the in-between points, I'm going to add a new point, but as you see when I add it, I get tangents. So if we look closer, this one, click on it, has these little tangents here to help you with the curves. And you can always add more. So I'm going to add another one down here. Add another one down here. And you can always mess with these too. And in fact, if you don't like where things are sitting, you can add more. Something like that. And then if I don't like this one, it doesn't have a tangent, I can click on it, delete it, and redrag a new one, which now gives me the curve. And so I'm not looking for perfection on this tutorial, but you get the idea. So that's about where I want it, more or less. Now we need to track it. So I'm going to hit tracker in the middle here. It's already going to be tracking this window because we're on tracker window. And then I'll track it forward and reverse. Now this one does go off screen, so it's going to get a little crazy, and I'll show you how to fix that. We can see where the pan line here on our key tracker just goes crazy. So if we step through our shot here, not too bad, especially if we highlight it. It's doing pretty well until it gets to about here. So what I'm going to do is, we're on clip right now, I'm going to switch to frame mode. This allows for single keyframes. So as I step forward, I'm going to zoom in a little bit to see what I'm doing here and maybe get rid of this timeline. So I'm going to look where this edge starts to leave the edge of our gas mask and just pull it over a little bit, a couple steps forward. So it split the difference for us there. Still okay here. Now that's off screen, so it lost track. I'm just going to drag this off screen, key ahead. It's going to want to try to jump back to its last position, but I'll just keep moving it over until we're past that keyframe like we are now. Okay, let's head back and we'll do the other side now. And then I'll show you a little softness and how to add the blur and the desaturation. So I'll move to the right eye, which is this side. So same thing, I'm going to go right about here. Got to click on window and curve tool first. So here, here. You don't have to do it this way. I just, for curves, I've tried using the circular tool. Doesn't really work as well for this particular application. Not that I don't use it, but at least I found for this thing that needs a fair amount of adjustments, I liked using this tool better. And you can always finesse it. I don't really love that one, so I'm going to add another one in the middle here. Maybe tighten up our radius. So you can actually change your tangent on both sides. So you could get one like closer, and you can have them be independent by hitting the command button. So if you needed one to be a little tighter on one side or shorter, otherwise they're connected until you hit that again. All right, so let's track this one. I'll hit tracker. Same thing, track forward and backwards. We're on window by default. and then we'll go to where this thing gets out of skew. We'll actually step through a little. I'll go ahead and hit frame now. Keep an eye on it, moving through. There's a fair amount of up and down on this clip. So here he starts to turn. Might come over just a little bit. Not too bad. Okay, so here it's off screen. It's trying to work its way back. I'm going to keep it off screen so it's not doing anything to the image that we don't want. And there we are. So now both sides of the windows are tracked. Now what we want to do is desaturate and blur. So I'll go back to the left eye here. And what I want to do is on the color tab down here, I'm going to desaturate. So now you can see it's starting to lose color here. And then to blur, right down here in the center, there's a blur module. And I'll just raise that up until I think it looks blurry enough. It's about a 67. Let's move to the right eye. And there's a shadow cast, so it probably doesn't need as much desat. And then the blur. Let's get it somewhere similar here. Now here's where the soft edge really helps quite a bit. I'm going to click on the left eye. You can see the window. If we turn our window back, there's no soft edge. It's just pretty much a hard edge here. So what I'm going to do is grab our outside soft, and you can see how that feathers it. Now what I want to do is look at where it's interacting with the edge of the little goggle frame here, the goggle glass. So here's all the way off, and we're going to zoom in or give it more softness. And that actually filled out that exposed edge where this part wasn't quite tight enough on the size of our window. So I might actually bring it up just a hair and then bring the outside soft down just a little. And now let's take a look at how it's doing on the right side. Same thing, add a little bit of soft, and I'll zoom back out. And now let's take a look. Let's go back. Not too bad. All right, now what I did on the other clip here, this is the stylized version. I inverted the masks and added motion blur and some edge detail. And by desaturating it, we now have the same saturation here, but it gave it this weird sort of sci-fi look. So let's check that out. So I'll just show you what I did on this one. So on the right and left side here, I have a little invert on the mask, just like that. So it's right next to this little window. And then on the right side, same thing. So both of these are inverted. If I shut off the motion blur and the edge detect, pretty much it's just going to be blurry on the outside with clear holes for the eye. So something like that. So invert, go to the right eye, invert, and now it's already kind of looking a little strange. Got the motion blur, and then the edge detect, and this one needs the invert back on. So yeah, both are inverted. Now we have desat in the background, and the edges look kind of weird. And then the edge detect's just doing this, which looks pretty cool as well. And the motion blur really doesn't kick in until he starts to leave the screen right about here. All right, that's it for this video. I just wanted to show you guys how to independently control two different windows. Use a little motion blur, kind of give it a better focal point if you found looking through that mask a little distracting or whatever your subject might be. That's a way you can de-emphasize certain spots of your character or subject right inside your power window. All right, thanks for watching. Thanks to all the brand new subscribers. I appreciate it. Got quite a few this last week and quite a few views on my couple videos back. So appreciate that. And I'll see you guys on the next one.